Right now, lawmakers are back at the State House as Republicans try to pass a redrawn congressional map that would benefit the party. As they are debating that plan, protesters are making their voices heard outside. We have team coverage this noon on both the plans and protests. We begin with Capitol reporter Dina Harley. Dina, you were on the Senate floor this morning. Where do things stand?
Yeah, so earlier this morning, the newly drawn map did pass in the Senate. It passed there along party lines, of course, no surprise there, but it didn't come without more and more debate from Democrats and Republicans over what to do here. All of that debate, of course, just a continuation from what we saw yesterday when lawmakers first started debating this map. Republicans have been clear from the start. They wanted to pass this map to appease President Donald Trump and get an additional Republican seat in Congress. Last night on the Senate floor, Democrats tried everything they could to prevent this from happening. They introduced amendments that all failed and also handed in constitutional protests. They tried more today, this morning, and they were repeatedly blocked by Republicans. Republicans stood firm and said this map is fair. They said it needs to pass to protect GOP strength in Congress in D.C. At one point, Democratic Senator Michael Garrett gave a floor speech saying democracy was under attack. A fellow Democratic senator moved to put his words in the Journal. That just means it would enshrine it in the official record of today. Republicans objected to that. I want you to take a listen in.
The truth only hurts if it should. Senator Garrett spoke the truth. Those true words should be spread upon the Journal. I urge you all, regardless of party, to show some respect for your colleagues, to show some respect for our state, for our country, for the freedom of speech. Show some respect.
And again, that did pass on the Senate floor earlier today. It now heads over to the House for their consideration and for their vote. It is likely to pass there as well because you have to remember Republicans also control the House here in North Carolina. If it does pass there, that would mean it passed in both chambers. The governor does not have veto power when we're talking about these congressional maps. Of course, we'll keep you updated as this continues to unfold throughout the day. In Raleigh, Dina Harley, CBS 17 News.
All right, Dina, thank you for that update. And while the state lawmakers debate the redistricting plan inside the State House, protesters are gathering outside, rallying against the new map. CBS 17 Shabnan Dinesh joining us live. So, Shab, what are you seeing and hearing outside?
Everybody needs to be bothered. Yeah, Bill, there's hundreds of people outside the North Carolina State Capitol with lots of speakers. Protesters telling me voters should be picked their politicians, not the other way around. I want to step out of the way so you can take a look at what's going on here with the hundreds of people here. You can see a lot of signs calling, Republicans saying that they're cheating and that only losers are afraid of fair maps. So North Carolina Democratic Party Chair Anderson Clayton taking to the podium first, saying while they won't have the ability to stop Republicans from what they're doing today, they're here to tell them that their actions will have consequences. At the ballot box, and Congressman Deborah Ross and other politicians also taking the stand. And I want to bring in one of the protesters here to explain why he's here. His name is Braxton Winston. Braxton, thank you. Why are you here today?
Well, as president of the North Carolina AFL-CIO, I represent workers all over the state, workers who are Democrat, Republican, unaffiliated, and everything in between. And we are an organization based in democratic principles, so when democracy is weakened, like what the General Assembly is doing right now, our movement and our organization is weakened. So we are united in that fact that we want the General Assembly to actually get and do their job, pass a budget, make sure that Medicaid payments keep up, make sure our teachers, our law enforcement officers are able to get the raises they deserve. They aren't able to get that right now because the General Assembly is prioritizing doing the bidding of Donald Trump and not their job.
Thank you very much. And as I said, Republicans and Democrats are here pushing back against these maps. We haven't seen any counter-protesters yet, and we will be covering another protest later on today to talk about how these maps are possibly diluting the power of the black vote here in North Carolina. For now, reporting live outside the North Carolina State Capitol, Shabnan Dinesh, CBS 17 News.
All right, Shab, thank you for that update.